How many of you guys use Southern California Edison as your power company? Can I get a show of hands? Well, for those of you who don't, let me share some of their shenanigans with you. Did you know that Edison's bills are never due on the same date of each month? I know it doesn't make any sense. On one month it can be due on the 15th, the next it might be on the 13th, and the next after that it might be on the 16th. It's like a constant cat and mouse game where they're trying to trip you up into making a late payment. Another strange thing that is another practice of Edison's that's kind of interesting is how they don't allow you to set up an automatic payment from your bank account. We are so used to that nowadays, say from your insurance payment, your credit card payment, cable bill, telephone bill, whatnot, but not for your power bill. And after thinking about it, I actually think that Edison may have a good reason for taking this stance. It's actually what led me into a journey over the past winter months. I think that Edison does it because they don't want us to be complacent. They don't want us to get into the mode of, or the habit of just automatically paying the bill each month at the same time, whatever it is that happens to be on the bill. They want us to do it manually and to actually look at it and be conscientious of our electrical consumption. And when I ended up looking at my own usage, I found my energy bill to be insanely high, a wasteful $200 per month during this past winter season, and I was able to lower that down to $45 per month. I want to share with you some of my best practices in how I did that so that hopefully you too can lower your energy bill. They are basically categorized into three different ideas. The first one is waste, the second is thirsty machines, and the last one is adaptation. For the first thing, waste, I'm talking about background waste, things that are on and running when we're not even using them, when we're not even there to appreciate or get any benefit out of it. A great example of this, I think, which is relevant for the oncoming inevitable heat wave, is ceiling fans. Many of us think that when you have a ceiling fan on, it helps to cool the room, but that's actually not the case. The fan does not cool the room. What it actually does is simply circulate the air that's already there. It doesn't change the temperature at all. Although when you feel the breeze blowing against your skin, it may actually feel cooler due to like a wind chilling effect. But in fact, there's no change in the temperature. So what do you do when you're not in the room? You should turn that fan off because there's nobody there otherwise to get any benefit out of the fan. Another common example that I think applies to most of us is computers. Many of us put the computer on sleep or standby when we're not using it, and I know that I do that, or at least I did that before. I would personally use my home computer about 4 hours a day, and then when I was not using it, the other 20 hours it was on sleep. Now think about this. Standby mode for 20 hours a day times 30 days, that's 600 hours. Now, no matter what the electrical consumption rate is for the computer when it's on standby, when you multiply that by 600 hours, it's going to rack up, and it's going to put a dent in your energy bill. Other things as well, fax machine, printer, there are other things that we put on standby or sleep mode as well, and the same thing applies to them. That 600 hours, just think about that multiplied for multiple machines. So turn them off if you're not using them, and if you don't need to have them in sleeping or standby mode. Another thing that this brings me to is my space heater, which is one of the most thirsty machines that I know, my second topic. The space heater I actually purchased for heating my own room because I didn't want to use the house heater to heat up the entire house at nighttime when I was sleeping. I thought that was wasteful. I didn't want to heat up all the other rooms if I was only going to be in my bedroom. But little did I know how energy intensive the space heater is. It drinks electricity like lemonade. And what's even worse about it is that it also dries up the air. I would have the space heater on in my room, and it would kind of keep the room a little warmer, but it would dry up the air, and at nighttime when I was sleeping, I wouldn't breathe very well because of that air quality. Consequently, I went out and bought a humidifier. Now picture this. I had on one side of my room the space heater heating up and drying the air, and on the other side of the room a humidifier moistening and cooling down the air. It was the most absurd climate system that I created in my own little bedroom that ended up costing me more than $1 per evening that I had it running for about 8 hours when I was sleeping. Just think about that. The space heater and the humidifier, just these two items, were racking up more than $30 a month on my bill. I got rid of them, but I didn't resort to the house heater either. Many of us think that a gas heating system is more gas intensive and doesn't use electricity, but that's not exactly the case. It's not quite true. Although it's true that the furnace uses gas to heat up the air, once that happens, then there's a fan that blows it and distributes it throughout the house. And that fan runs on a powerful motor which also drinks electricity. So avoid that as well. I know many of you at this point may be thinking that I'm crazy for telling you just to not use the heater and not use the AC, but that's not what I'm trying to recommend. It's okay to use it, but I'm recommending that you try to minimize your usage and not to just turn it on at the slight sign of discomfort. Instead, try to adapt in other ways. For me, what I did personally after I tuned down my usage of the heater, I put it on the thermostat so that it would not be heating unless it actually got below 60 degrees. If it was above 60 degrees, I figured I could survive by simply putting on a jacket instead. Think of that as something as simple as just putting on another layer of clothing. At nighttime when I was sleeping, I got a wool blanket, which made a world of difference, and I also got some thermal pajamas. And this combination helped keep me actually warmer than the previous arrangement of using the heater. Plus, I no longer had breathing issues because I didn't have that weird humidifier and heater arrangement there anymore either. This also applies to the warm weather that's upcoming as well, though. It's not just about cold weather. The opposite can be true about adaptation. You don't have to, when it gets too hot, take your clothes off. Feel free to walk around your house naked. You can take a cool shower, you can drink a cold beverage. At nighttime, open the windows and let in the naturally cool air into your house. So in summary, I've shared with you some of my best practices which helped me make a significant difference on my energy bill. And as you can tell, it's really not rocket science. They're quite simple things. And I was, in the end, able to save over $150 on a monthly bill. Keep in mind that the power companies put you into a tier based on your usage. The higher you consume, the higher electricity you consume, the higher the rate, kilowatt per hour rate that they charge you. So even if you take some of these suggestions in mind and make a slight change in your lifestyle or your habits, it can actually put you into a lower tier and you can have a surprising amount of savings from it. So the next time your monthly energy bill rolls around, I hope you heed some of my advice. Hope we are all not drinking electricity like lemonade, and we can all instead choose to pocket some of that extra cash each month instead. Thank you.